Happy Sunday, Tampa Bay. We're with you for another week here on the Duncan Duo Real Estate Show, talking about the Tampa Bay real estate market like we are every Sunday at 10 a.m., even weekends after a hurricane. We had Helen come through, and hopefully you're getting everything squared away post-storm and not too much damage for you personally. And but nonetheless, I want to talk about the Tampa Bay real estate market like we do every Sunday. When we aren't on air, you can hit us up at the Duncan Duo, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook. And also, you'll catch us at Tampa Bay Lightning games for the next several months. The official real estate agents of the Tampa Bay Lightning for a decade now. Once again, we'll be advertised all over the arena, supporting the Bolts and rooting them on to victory. We've got some cool promotions coming, and always sharing some of our Lightning experiences with our clients. So if you are someone who is interested in the Lightning, make sure you're following our social pages, because we do have giveaways, ticket giveaways, and we're always doing stuff for our clients with the Bolts. So I want to talk today about something I've talked about on the show before, and that is how we have kind of two different real estate markets going on in Tampa Bay right now. And it's the difference between single-family homes and condos. We've talked about how the condo market has massively grown in inventory. The milestone surveys and inspections that need to be completed by older condo buildings have caused massive increases in insurance and HOA fees for condo buildings, and have caused a lot of condo owners to sell their properties. Well, when you look across Tampa Bay, you realize that if you compare Hillsborough and Pinellas County, the majority of the condo impact is Pinellas County. Now, there are certainly condos in Hillsborough County, but just not as many. You get some near the water or in downtown, and a lot of the condos in Hillsborough County are newer, meaning that they're not getting hit with some of these obstacles as it relates to insurance and the milestone survey stuff that has to be done. And what the milestone survey is the older buildings have to undergo extra inspection and insurance issues because of the building that collapsed in Miami. So what has it caused to the real estate market? Well, if you look at Tampa's real estate market, the snapshot of our statistics shows a pretty stable market because we don't have a lot of condo. We have a lot of single-family home. It shows a pretty stable market where inventory has risen a tad this year. We're seeing prices comparable to last year. We're seeing, a comparable number of home sales. We're seeing a relatively balanced market. However, when you go across the bay and look at Pinellas County, there is a much larger percentage of the homes available for sale in Pinellas County that are condos. You get to all the beach and waterfront communities, and it's a lot of condo development. So I reviewed the statistics, and I was blown away at the difference statistically between Pinellas and Hillsborough right now. And I know a lot of the statistical differences are related to what is going on in our condo market. And the condo market, we're seeing rising inventory, a lot of people deciding to sell because they don't want to pay those higher insurance and higher HOA fees. A lot of them sitting on the market because buyers are a little bit afraid of buying them because of the extra cost with insurance and the HOA fees. So it's saturated. It is a definitive buyer's market when it comes to condos right now in Tampa Bay. Now, how does this look overall for Pinellas County? So first off, the amount of month supply of inventory, if we look back at 2 years ago, we had 2 and 3 months supply of inventory, meaning that if no other properties sold in Pinellas County, it would take 2 or 3 months to sell out all the existing. Today, we're up 400%. We're up over 12 months supply of inventory. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a buyer's market. That is a shifted real estate market, and that is heavily because of the condo situation in Pinellas County. So we are at 18,000 available properties for sale in Pinellas County right now, with about 1,500 selling on a monthly basis throughout the first, from the first of this year through now, about 1,500 sales on average, 1,489 in August, and it's been 1,500, 1,700, 1,600, 1,300, 1,000. The average is 1,500 a month this year, with 18,000 available properties. That is 12.2 months supply of inventory. That is the highest number I have seen in Pinellas County since the Great Recession. And again, if you're a single family homeowner, you probably don't have to be as concerned about this. But if you own a condo or are selling a condo, it's a buyer's market. Your property may not sell. It's going to take a long time to sell. You're going to have to be very aggressive with the price. You're going to have the best priced, best conditioned real estate agents that are going to thrive at selling condos right now are going to be the ones that have the experience from back in the day when we were in the short sale and foreclosure crisis and we knew we had to aggressively price properties because you had to get in front of that downward trend. When you have an increase in supply, it causes prices to drop if demand doesn't rise. And we're seeing 1,500 sell every month, but we see inventory go from a year ago, 2 months, to today, 12 months. That is 6x. That's a 600% increase in the amount of properties available for sale. And again, what I can tell you is that is predominantly a condo situation in Pinellas County. Single family homes, townhomes, still doing relatively well. Now let's talk about pricing. The average sale price in Pinellas County has not started to see a downward pressure yet. $526,000 is the average sale price compared to last year. It was around this time, $525,000, $550,000. So it's softened a little bit, but this year it's mostly hovered. If you go back 2 years ago, we're up over 2 years ago. We were $454,000 in 2022. So we saw appreciation over a 2-year period, but for the last year, prices have been flat and we have seen, some slight depreciation. However, this supply increase tells me that condo prices are going to keep dropping. There is going to be blood in the water. There are going to be foreclosures with condos. There are going to be people that aren't able to sell their property. And there are going to be a lot of frustrated homeowners that aren't paying attention to this data and think the real estate market is still sunshine and rainbows because it was a year ago. But looking at the data today, the condo market is in Pinellas County, there's definitely blood in the water. 12 months of inventory is a buyer's market. So again, when you analyze real estate, you might look at this and say, oh, Pinellas County real estate market's really rough. But if you drill down into the data, where it's rough is older condos. Where it's not rough is single family homes and frankly, newer condos and even higher end. This isn't an issue that's impacting as much $1 million and $2 million newer condos in downtown St. Pete or on the water, or $3 and $4 and $5 million condos. What it's really affecting is average priced condos in older buildings that are seeing a skyrocket in insurance and HOA fees and causing buyers to not want to buy them and causing sellers to want to dump them. So 12-month supply of inventory, wild to me when I saw that number. It's gone the last 6 months, to give you an understanding of how much worse it's gotten. It has gone from 6 months to 9 months to 10 months to 12 months the last several months, where it hovered around 2 or 3 months the last few years. And again, this is 100%, a factor of the condo market. Because when you look at Hillsborough County, our stats do not show the same thing. We show a 4 or 5 month supply of inventory. We show homes selling in a normal number of days. We're hovering around 3,000 sales a month and a little bit lower average sale price. We're seeing in the 450, 475 range for our average sale price in Hillsborough County. And that's, again, a more stable real estate market. So that gives you an understanding of what is going on in Pinellas County right now and how much the condo market is impacting it. I want to talk next about Sarasota and Manatee because we cover that market as well. When you look at my business, we cover a very broad geographic area. From our office in South Tampa, we obviously cover the entire Tampa Bay area because we do marketing on mass media. So we do radio, TV, and billboards all over. And, certainly a large portion of our business is Hillsborough. We do a lot in Pinellas, and we certainly do a lot in Sarasota and Manatee. We just listed a $1.2 million, a $600,000. We sold a $6 million a few months ago down in Sarasota, Manatee. So we do serve that market. And so when you look at the statistics for that market, it's probably a little bit more comparable to what we're seeing in Hillsborough County than Pinellas. Now, there are certainly condos in Sarasota and Manatee, but if you look out in the rural area, a lot of the construction, a lot of the development is single family new construction. So Hillsboro is kind of on one spectrum. Pinellas is on the opposite side of the spectrum, and Sarasota Manatee is kind of right in the middle. Hillsboro, we're seeing like 4 months of inventory, 50, 60 days to sell, average sale price, a little bit below 500 in the 450, 475 range, and around 3,000 sales a month. Pinellas, 12 months of inventory, 18,000 available properties for sale, and an average sale price of in the 520s. Sarasota Manatee, average sale price of $612. Now, I want to give you guys a brief synopsis here because we have seen depreciation in Sarasota and Manatee. The average sale price in April of this year, $757,000. The average sale price has dropped $150,000 in 5 months. Again, Hillsborough County and Tampa has not seen this. Okay, Sarasota Manatee has seen depreciation. A year ago, the average sale price in Sarasota Manatee was $661. Okay, 2 years ago it was $659. So again, we've seen from 2 years to now, we've seen prices soften and drop in Sarasota Manatee. But what we haven't seen is the massive increase in inventory that Pinellas County saw. We have seen an increase. So we're at 5.86 months supply of inventory in Sarasota Manatee, 82 days before a property sells. It was hovering around the 45 and 50 mark a couple of years ago, consistent with both Tampa and Pinellas, but has risen. 95% list to sell price ratio compared to the 98 that we're seeing in Hillsboro, and 1,109 sales. Compare that to a couple of years ago, we were seeing 15, 16, 17, 1,800 sales a month in Sarasota Manatee. So fewer sales, an increase in inventory from a couple of years ago where we're seeing 2 and 3 and 4. Now we're up into the 5 and 6 range. So that kind of gives you an understanding. If I were to rank them in order of health, Hillsborough County is the healthiest real estate market. Sarasota Manatee is in the middle. And last in order is Pinellas County in terms of the health of its existing real estate market. So hopefully that's helpful in you understanding what's going on in Tampa Bay with our real estate markets. We'll be back continuing this conversation after a quick break on the Duncan Duo Show. So we're back here on the Duncan Duo Show talking about the Tampa Bay real estate market. I'm going to spend the next 5 or 6 minutes talking about something that I am super passionate about. If you've listened to the show for a while, or if you've met me in person or followed me personally on social media, you know I am a car junkie. So I'm a car collector. I've got a variety of different stuff. I've always been interested in fast and cool cars. I saw an article this week, garages not just for cars anymore. And so, I follow some Facebook pages that are about like kind of garage renovations and living space in garages. And believe it or not, it's actually one of the least costly places to renovate in your house. And according to this article, it can provide up to an 80% ROI when you renovate a garage. Now, again, I'm someone who obviously spends time in his garage. My garage is air conditioned. I watch TV. I mess around with cars. I hang out. And again, my garage is, probably kind of like a showroom to most people. There are plenty of people, however, that turn their garage into a fitness area, a gym, or they turn it into living spaces. A garage conversion is also something a lot of people are doing, because if you look at Tampa, we have a lot, especially in South Tampa, you have a lot of homes without garages. You have a lot of homes that were prior military homes that just didn't have garages, and a garage addition can be a major bump in a property's value. I know me personally, that if I ever move, I will not even look at a home without a big garage. It's nature for me. There are plenty of people out there, and I think realtors naturally do a really bad job underselling garages. Like, they don't show the photos of the garages. I mean, you could, like, they don't describe it well. Like, I saw one time somebody called a house a 3-car garage, and it was a 9-car garage. It was just a 3-car door. It was a tandem, like 3 cars deep, and they just didn't advertise it right. So realtors, I think, unfortunately, a lot of them don't quite understand the value of a garage and what a guy wants with a garage and what it can mean to someone. So there's definitely a lot of cool things you can do, both from a renovation and home value perspective, but from a marketing perspective. We've had properties recently where we've helped the client stage a garage. We've put cars in the garages to take photos, to kind of show the lifestyle. And I think naturally, I hear a lot of complaints from car guys that real estate listings, even on high-end properties, don't have any photos, mentions, or dimensions of the garage. So that is something my company is not going to make the mistake of. So if you are looking to market a property with a killer garage, I will take a personal interest in making sure it's properly staged, marketed, mentioned, measured, all of those things, photoed, videoed, because it just goes unnoticed. I've even bought properties personally that were underpriced because the realtor didn't understand the value of the garage. I had a property I bought last year that had a 7-car, 1,500 square foot garage that was so poorly advertised. I got it at such a good price. I was able to deck out the garage and sell it and do very well on it simply because the prior realtor just didn't understand what they had. So a garage can sometimes serve many purposes. It can be a hangout place. It can be a gym. It can be turned into a loft. There are people that convert garages into living space. I don't always recommend that because I think just as many people see value in the garage as they do in an extra bedroom. But there are a lot of ways you can improve your garage. You can add windows. You can add air conditioning. You can do epoxy type flooring. Some people can do tile. You can certainly add electric and TV. You can deter bugs. You can put screens on the garage doors if you want to keep it open during certain times of year. But nonetheless, it is one of the easier things to renovate on a home, and something that goes unnoticed far too often in real estate listings. Just not enough real estate agents understand the value proposition of the garage. And I have personally bought properties because the real estate agent did a terrible job understanding the value and the marketability of a larger type garage. So if you are someone that has a large garage home that hasn't sold, or you are thinking about selling a home with a large, really cool trick garage, I promise you, we will market it the right way. We will get eyes on it. We will take photos of it. We will measure it. We will stage it. We will help you get maximum value out of your really cool, trick garage. Because again, I understand it. I did it when I built my home. That's absolutely what I wanted. I wanted my garage to almost kind of, mirror living space or kind of a man cave. And, so I understood that, and I make sure that our clients that are selling homes with big garages have that same kind of exposure too. So, and if you're thinking about selling, just go to duncanduo.com. You can get an instant cash offer. You can get a free home value estimate. Again, at duncanduo.com, whether you're looking to sell traditionally, whether you want to sell directly to a cash investor, or you simply want to get your home value estimate, you can do all of that and so much more at duncanduo.com. Again, that's duncanduo.com. We'll be back. We're going to continue our conversation. We talk about interest rates, talk about what it's like to buy a home right now, what it's like to sell a home, and some new updates to some real estate statistics after a quick break here on the Duncan Duo Show. So back here on the Duncan Duo Show, talking about the Tampa Bay real estate market like we are every Sunday at 10. DuncanDuo.com for an instant cash offer. If you want an investment cash offer, DuncanDuo.com. If you want your home value estimate, and DuncanDuo.com if you want to sell your home traditionally and get max value. And I do want to touch on that really quickly because a lot of times we get customers say, oh, of course I want a cash offer. But you have to understand, like, if somebody's buying your home for cash, like, they're an investor. They have to see a path to profit. Like, they're not buying your problem. They're not buying it for your price, okay? They're buying it so they can make money on it. And they have to look at it and say, can I buy this property, put money into it, and make a profit? Better than I can by just parking my money in a bank and making 5%, okay? So if you're a homeowner, and you want a cash offer, okay? Nobody out there is buying your house unless they see a path to profit, okay? And a reasonable enough profit to beat what you're seeing in a guaranteed place where you can put capital. Why go through all the risk to make 2 or 3%, put up $500,000 and make 2 or 3% when you can park it in the bank and make 5? So if you're a seller, understand that if you hear people advertising cash offer, that is for someone that is motivated, that is willing to sell it quickly, that doesn't want to jump through hoops, doesn't want to deal with inspections, wants money quick, motivated, inherited, needs a lot of work. Those are the reasons why. If you're someone who has a nice, great turnkey, move-in ready house, and you're not willing to accept lower than retail value, you're probably not a path for a cash offer, okay? So nobody out there is overpaying for homes anymore. The market is nowhere near a place for people to overpay for real estate. We're not seeing the market that we did a couple years ago. That is gone. That was fantasy land. It's over. So if you want to accept a cash offer today, it's going to come with a caveat that person buying it needs to see a path to profit. So again, DuncanDuo.com. Now, if you're someone that's in distress, we get this a lot where people will reach out to us because they want a cash offer because they're in distress. They're either behind, they're behind on their mortgage, they're facing foreclosure, they need to do a short sale. I want to let you know that sometimes the cash offer won't work in those situations because if you need a third party to approve it, the third party is going to want to maximize the value. They're not going to want to sell it for that much of a discount. So you're likely going to have to go through a retail process and be on the market and have it on MLS and go through some steps to make sure before the bank takes a cash offer that there isn't something better out there. We had somebody not long ago say, hey, why don't you just buy it and you negotiate directly with the bank? Look, the banks are smart. Like, they're not just going to take an offer where it hasn't been marketed to more people to see if there's better out there, okay? They're not idiots at the bank. They didn't become banks for they didn't become banks. They became banks for a reason. They know what they're doing with money. So if you are someone that's struggling, you're behind, and you need some help, we've got tools for you. We've got attorneys we can recommend. We've certainly done hundreds of short sales through the years. I speak with homeowners every single week that are up against a short sale situation, that are behind on their mortgage, and they need to come up with a creative solution. And again, short sale isn't always the right path. Most of the time it is. So if you are thinking about doing a short sale, there are a lot of agents out there right now that don't know what they're doing that will butcher it. If you know someone that's behind on their mortgage, maybe they're going through divorce, maybe they lost their job, maybe they got relocated with the military, and they're not able to keep up with the mortgage and they're behind and they want to avoid the damage of foreclosure, because I promise you, the credit reporting on the foreclosure can be a lot worse than the credit reporting on a short sale and how long it affects your credit. So we've got a lot of experience with it. We can give you the right resources and tools. We can help point you in the right direction. We can point you to some attorneys, even to give you specific legal advice if that's what you have. Your bank may encourage you to do short sale. And if you do, again, there are a lot of real estate agents that don't know what they're doing. They don't even know what it is. But a short sale is something we have a massive amount of experience at, and it's when the home is sold for less than what is owed, and the bank lets the sale happen or forgives the difference in order to avoid more financial damages or expense of having to go through the legal process in Florida. Because in Florida, different than other states, we are a legal foreclosure state. We are a judicial foreclosure state, meaning that it is a lawsuit. You go behind on the bank files a lawsuit against you, they hire an attorney, you can fight it, you can hire your own attorney to try and argue it and delay it and stay in the home. There are people that do that. The point is because it can be expensive and time-consuming, a lot of Florida properties can be short-sold, and the banks are more likely to do that in Florida because of that extra cost. Other states, short sales aren't as commonly used or aren't the easiest to do because it isn't. Some states aren't judicial foreclosure states. Some states you can foreclose more quickly than you can in Florida. But because we are a judicial foreclosure state, it does take some time, and you need an agent that knows how to navigate, that knows how to explain the process, that knows how to explain it to the buyer, that knows how to market it and get an offer so you can get a response from the bank, that knows how to do all of those things, because, again, it is not a normal sale. If a real estate agent hasn't been licensed very long, they probably don't know what they're doing, and they're probably going to mess up a lot, or they're going to have to talk to someone like me who's done hundreds of them. So, again, if you're thinking about a short sale, give us a call, duncanduo.com. Reach out or text the office, 813-359-8990. Again, 813-359-8990 if you're struggling behind in your mortgage and need some options. Or maybe you're current on your mortgage, but you don't have equity. I talked about, some of our markets that have seen depreciation, and there are some neighborhoods in Tampa Bay. There's clearly some in Sarasota, Manatee, like I mentioned early in the show, where we've seen a six-figure plus decrease in the average sale price in Sarasota, Manatee, and we're seeing it in Pinellas with the rise in inventory. We're seeing some depreciation. So there are people out there in homes that don't have equity anymore, that the last few years of economy have eaten the equity, the bad economic decisions, the inflation, the milestone survey. A lot of these things have caused a loss of equity. And so if you're someone who's in a negative equity position, you're also someone who may be able to do a short sale if you don't have the money to make up the difference. So if you need short sale help, again, we can help you. Reach out. When our team reaches out, or when you fill out the form online, or when you text us, make sure and let us know your situation so we can proceed and give you the right advice accordingly. If you're someone looking to do a short sale, again, duncanduo.com. or 813-359-8990. So we've seen interest rates soften a little bit, but does that mean our real estate market is going to come roaring back? No. Unfortunately, we're going to need to see more interest rate drops for it to have a massive impact. Now, in my opinion, the drop in interest rates definitely does encourage people to act now. Smart people are saying, hey, look, why don't I buy now? Because as interest rates drop next year, prices will probably rise again. And when they rise again, I'm going to miss out. And inventory will probably soften, and we'll see more homes selling because interest rates are down again. So a lot of the predictions are saying that, as rates drop, some of the negative things we're seeing, specifically in Pinellas, Sarasota, and Manatee real estate markets, will soften and get better. Hard to predict that. But one rate cut isn't making some massive change in the market. We've not seen some massive increase in demand. We've not seen a massive increase in traffic. We've seen a little trickle up, but it'll take a little bit more than that to get rates a little closer to what they were in the lowest trough of interest rates when they were in the 2s and 3s. We don't suspect we're getting there anytime soon, but as we approach the 4s, you'll get more and more consumers say, okay, now I can sell to go buy. Now I can tolerate my 3% turning into 4.5. I couldn't tolerate my 3% turning into a 6 or 7. So as rates drop, we expect to see some appreciation and some improvement in the real estate market. A lot of people are predicting a 2025 real estate market to be a better one than 2024. I want to talk about buying your interest rate down. You'll see a lot of ads right now, and builders do this. There are 1 year or 2 year buy downs or 2-1 buy downs where you get it 2 points lower the first year, 1 point lower and the second year, and the third year it's the same rate. There are a lot of people taking advantage of this right now with the expectation that rates will drop, and I think for most part, a lot of economists, everyone's predicting that it will, but predictions sometimes are wrong. There's a lot that can change between now and then. There's obviously a pivotal election. There's economic policy that could be massively changed. There are things that could happen in our country and in our world that could change rates. So banking on this is hard to predict. If you're someone, builders will often offer this incentive that doesn't cost you anything. It's something the builder will use to create sales. If you're someone who's buying your rate down personally, I want to make sure that you look at the cost of such. Additionally, people to look at doing interest-only loans or doing cash-out refinances or refinances to lower rates. What you need to do is make sure to measure the costs that you're incurring and how long you anticipate being in that home. There are a lot of people that will do a refinance and then move a year or two later, and the refinance costed them more than they saved in that year or two. So make sure you do the long-term math. How long are you committed to that property? How long are you committed to that loan? How long before you're going to change? How long before you think you're going to change before you incur those costs? Because the refinance, it has costs, okay? They may say it doesn't have any. Oh, we're not going to charge you anything out of pocket, okay? But I promise you, like, they're not doing it out of the goodness of their heart. They're going to charge you. They're just going to add it to your principal. They're going to add it to what you owe. They're going to say, okay, this refi cost you 10 grand. You don't owe 250 anymore. Now you owe 260. You still paid for it. Your net worth was still reduced. You just didn't pay out of your checking account, okay? So make sure when you're doing refinances, when you're doing rate buy downs, when you're doing interest-only loans, do the math, do the projections, how long you expect to be in the property before you start to see your money come back or for you to get a return. I've seen it far too often where people do those things and then they've lost money. They've lost equity that they don't earn back because they don't stay in it long enough for it to make sense. So make sure that you're looking at that when you're looking at different things like rate buy downs, refinances, interest rates. A good lender will teach you that. We'll explain that to you. A good lender that wants your business for the long haul, like the ones that we work with at AMS and Fairway, they do a great job. They'll explain this to you. The lenders that simply call you and telemarket you, that don't have a relationship with you, that aren't in your local market, they're not the ones that are necessarily going to do that. So hopefully that's helpful for you in terms of helping you determine what to do in a refinance situation. We'll be back. We're going to continue our conversation. Make sure when we aren't on air at the Duncan Duo, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, DuncanDuo.com for a free home value estimate, an instant cash offer, get your home listed and sold fast. And if you're someone who's in distress, behind on your mortgage, thinking about doing a short sale, we are the right place for that. I can't think of very many real estate teams that have been around as long as we have, that have the amount of experience we have with the number of short sales we've done. We'd love to help you. Again, it's a traumatic, tough situation going through a short sale, going through financial distress, but we've got the experience to help make it as smooth as we possibly can on the real estate side that not a lot of real estate agents have locally. Anyway, we'll be back after a quick break here on the Duncan Duo Show. So we're back here on the Duncan Duo Show talking about the Tampa Bay real estate market. Again, excited to be back with the Tampa Bay Lightning for another year as the official real estate agents. When we aren't on air, hit us up, DuncanDuo.com. Again, that's DuncanDuo.com for your free home value estimate, instant cash offer. Whether you want to sell traditionally and get max value, or you're in a distress situation thinking about short sale, we have experts on our team that can help you with all of those things and more. So again, just pop in your address at DuncanDuo.com and we'll be there to help you. I want to talk to our clients that are out there in luxury properties. You've heard me talk about the market and kind of the things that we're seeing, and our luxury market still continues to outpace a lot of luxury markets across the country. So if you're someone in a luxury property, and I see this all the time, homes that aren't selling on the high end because they either aren't properly marketed, or they had bad photography or videography, or they started the price too high. All of those things and more. Sometimes you just need a second opinion. We would love to be your second opinion. I personally reach out to all of our clients who are looking at selling or valuing real estate above $1 million. So if you want my eyes on it personally and you've got a high-end property, just go to duncanduo.com and you will hear from me personally. I reach out to all of those. I do have agents on my team that assist, but kind of to evaluate and see what could be done differently. We are still getting a massive amount of people from different parts of the country moving here, whether it's for political reasons, climate reasons, whether it's state income tax. Our luxury market is still doing well, outpacing the norm. And a lot of the stuff I talked about with the condo market in Pinellas, and a little bit in Sarasota, Manatee is again, it's not as impactful on the, when you get into the luxury market. It's really more on older, more moderately priced condos is what we're seeing an impact on. So hopefully that's helpful. If you want a second opinion, would love the opportunity to talk to you. A lot of times luxury properties go through 2 or 3 agents before they finally sell. They get the right approach, they get the right price, they get the right marketing. We also get a lot of clients this time of year that call us and say, hey, our house has been on the market. What should we do? It's been on the market 5 or 6 months. It hasn't moved. So we get that call a lot. And, a lot of times the news isn't what the client wants to hear. A lot of times the news is it needs to come off the market so you can reset the days. So it can come back on as new. In an environment today where social media kind of takes over everything and where people want likes and they want other people to like their stuff, and social gratification matters more than it ever has, people want to buy homes that other people want. When a property's been on the market for a really long time, the buyer's looking at that home, thinks something's wrong with it, and other people don't want it. It makes them want it less, or it makes them lowball. So in a lot of instances, we'll tell clients, hey, your property needs to come off. Property needs to come off for a little bit. Let's take it off for a couple months. Let's reset the days on market. Let's go on fresh. But for people that want to sell, they don't want to listen to that. So sometimes they don't listen, and they go right back on the market with another agent, and they just keep chasing. They just keep chasing the market. They keep lowering the price, hoping to find the buyer. When in reality, what they really needed to do was just a reset. They needed a reevaluation. They needed somebody to come through and maybe tweak some of the photos and videos, tweak how the home is staged. And of course, again, eliminate that scarlet letter of real estate, which is that 5 or 6 months of being on the market and consumers thinking something is wrong with it. So we have executed that perfectly for many clients that have come to us and been willing to listen to the right advice instead of the advice they wanted to hear. It's kind of like, when somebody's out of shape and they're like, how do I look? And you have to kind of, tell them the truth sometimes so they get in the gym. This is the same thing. Sometimes we got to tell sellers, your house, it ain't working. You got to take a step back. You got to do something different. So, if you're out of real estate shape, that's one of the things. You need a different approach. You need to come off the market. You need to do some stuff for the next 60 days and go back on as a fresh new listing so that buyers can look past the problems in the property, the days on market, and the things that make them think something's wrong with it. So our advice oftentimes is just that. Consumers sometimes don't like to hear it. They're like, I want to go right back on the market. Well, do you want to do what you want to do? Or do you want to do what we know through $3 billion of home sales works? It's funny when sometimes people will come to me and, they won't want to listen to the advice because they've sold 3 homes in their career and I've sold about 10,000. So if you want to come to us and listen to the advice, we'll give you the right advice, but you've got to be willing to listen and be coachable, especially if your home hasn't sold. We want to get your home sold. We don't just want to list it. We have people all the time say, well, I just want to list it. I don't want to list it. I don't have an interest in listing your house. I have an interest in selling it. Listing it doesn't do anything for me. There's plenty of agents that go out there and throw signs in yards, put stuff at fantasy land prices and do a terrible job marketing it, then it never sells. That's not the job that I have. The job that I have is to sell your house. Of course, we're going to list it and we want to list it, but we want to list it with the intention to sell it. Getting the listing is not when we celebrate. We want to get you to the closing table. We want to obviously help you with your goal, and at the same time help us earn a living for our agents, our staff, and our team by providing you excellent service to get you to the finish line and get your home sold. So when clients come to us and say, oh, we just want to put it on the market and test the market, unfortunately, you're setting yourself up for failure, especially in today's challenging market. So hopefully that's helpful for you. Anytime you want additional real estate insight, news, or information, hit us up at The Duncan Duo on all the social channels or duncanduo.com, and have an awesome rest of your weekend, Tampa Bay.